There is a new sheriff in town. There is a new government in place in Niger. The people of Niger have suffered enough, ladies and gentlemen. In all of West Africa, the least developed country based on GDP per capita, Human Development Index, and infrastructure has been Niger for many decades. And it's not because the country has no resources to depend on, but because the resources of the country were under the control of France. The French government controlled the uranium mines in Niger. They mined the mineral and take it straight to France to power the French nuclear plant to supply electricity for France and many parts of Europe. Ladies and gentlemen, Niger don't have lights. This has been the situation until June 19th of 2025. I'm talking about 1 week ago, when Niger's military government declared the full nationalization of 2 uranium mines controlled by a company called Uranium, which is 90% owned by the French government. Uranium controls Somaïr mines and Imorare mines. Somaïr mines is actively operational and Imorare mines is dormant. Somaïr uranium mines was a joint venture, 63% held by Uranium and 37% held by another company. But for many years, Niger only received 12% from the proceeds of the mines. So in December of 2023, the agreement between the French company and Niger expired and needed renewal. And the military government said renewal can only be possible under an entirely different percentage terms, ladies and gentlemen. The French company rejected it, and the Niger government began a series of actions to exit them. The military government seized operational control in that same December of 2023 and revoked the license of their other concession, the Imorare mines, in 2024. Remember, this Imorare mines was owned by Orano company but wasn't mining on it. So this is what happened. They seized control of the active one and revoked the license of the dormant one and conducted raids in Urano's offices in May of this year. They ended up detaining the executives of that company. The French company, backed by the French government, immediately took Niger's military government to the International Center for Settlement of Investment Dispute, which is situated in Washington, D.C. in America, on 2 cases, ladies and gentlemen. One is over Imorare's permit revocation, and the second is over the loss of operational control at Somaïr. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a new sheriff in town, like I said, and this is my personal opinion about this story. My name is Cyrus, and this is Tumtum Network. Be sure to subscribe and click on the bell to see all of my videos. Let's dig into this. Niger provides 5% of global uranium, but that's actually not by the Niger government, but by the French company working in Niger. You see, from 2022 to 2024, 6 foreign companies supplied the most uranium to Europe. Out of that 6 companies or countries, Niger was the largest supplier to Europe. Niger supplied 25% of European uranium, which powers their nuclear reactors. France, one country, operates 56 nuclear reactors in Europe and gets about 70% of its electricity from nuclear energy. So technically, Niger is one of the main reasons why more than a quarter of Europeans get electricity. This type of information is the reason why a country like Niger will continue to be bombarded with political and extremist problems and unrest, because Europe, knowing where their source of electricity comes from, will never or will always do whatever it takes to frustrate that country and take out the uranium at dirt cheap cost, ladies and gentlemen. They do not respect black people on any level. They buy uranium from Australia and buy from Russia, but they mine in Niger. We have not invested in the capacity to mine on our own. And that's why things like these repeatedly happens on this continent. Ladies and gentlemen, they are not the only ones operating uranium mines in Niger. There is a Spanish company there and a Japanese company as well, a Chinese company and a Russian company, all there mining uranium in large quantities. In an ideal situation, ladies and gentlemen, that shouldn't have been the case. The Niger government should be the one operating these mines and selling it to the world at world market prices. And so it's perfectly right to take back all mines that are benefiting foreign companies at the expense of the state, especially when their operating permits have expired. It's time for France to look elsewhere, and it's time for Niger to run these mines themselves, ladies and gentlemen. Now, knowing all these, don't be surprised to hear a sudden increase in extremist attacks in Niger. Ladies and gentlemen, the white capitalist has never played fair, whether in their home countries or overseas. They come in to steal, kill, and destroy. Ladies and gentlemen, they steal the resources, kill the competition, and destroy the country on their way out. The sudden level of ammunition in the hands of jihadist militants across Africa is alarming. Where are they getting the weapons from? We know these extremist groups don't manufacture guns nor bullets. So where could they be getting all these ammunitions from, ladies and gentlemen? It is from the same Westerners behind our plights. They empower them and direct them on where to target to fit into their ultimate agenda. And their ultimate agenda is to take as much resources as they can from Africa and possibly reduce the population of Africans to the lowest levels, ladies and gentlemen. Foolishly enough, we continue to buy their pharmaceutical products and their foods. Ladies and gentlemen, Niger's military leader, Abdul Rahman Chiani, is not doing this for himself. And I'll repeat that. He's not doing it for himself because he is a soldier. He knows what will happen in the form of reaction from the French government. He's not doing it for himself. He is doing this because, just like all of us who love our people and our countries, he's tired of the system that has made the majority of the people poor and hopeless in his own country. This is not the regime to amass wealth and extend stay in office till death like others used to do. The AES is on a clean-up mission until the resources in their countries are equally benefiting their people just as it's benefiting foreign investors. They will not rest, and that is a positive energy. And these minerals are strategically economic ones that has high demand across the world. You don't need to beg any country to stay and mine and be fair whilst they do that. What we have to do at this point, ladies and gentlemen, is to invest in the educational system that can produce the requisite expertise we need to man these projects. We need a system which will consistently supply the needed skill set for the purpose of nation building, ladies and gentlemen. A country with a population of over 27 million people, Niger has only 5 universities. The total number of university students in Niger is between 45,000 to 50,000 across public and private universities. That's between 0.17% to 0.19% of the country's total population. Less than 1% of the country's population is getting higher education, ladies and gentlemen. That is totally unacceptable. To put it in comparative perspective, the University of Ghana alone has 61,000 student enrollments, and our national population is not too far ahead of Niger's, but they only have up to 50,000 students in their universities. This must come to an end, ladies and gentlemen, for the lack of knowledge is the cause of people perishing. My hope for the military government of Niger is to take the route of investing in education, specifically in science and technology. The people of Niger are so far behind on every metric, ladies and gentlemen. They are on the top 3 list of the least educated country in Africa. They have a golden opportunity with this military regime to correct all their wrongs and step into a new era of opportunity and prosperity for all. This regime cannot fail the people of Niger. And this is to the president of Niger, President Abdul Rahmani Chiani. You are the 6th military leader of your country. You are the only military leader of Niger that has received the support of Africa and the global community. You are the only military leader in Niger who is in the community of the AES. Your circumstances are totally different from all your predecessors. You are the first military leader of your country with access and the backing of social media. So you will have to do things differently from all those who came before you. Continue doing the right things for your people and let your people see it. Let social media bear witness of it and stay on the course. Don't start well and end up like others. Your country is a bottom feeder country right now. But with discipline and strategic leadership, you can turn it around in the next 5 years. Your people have become beggars in every country in West Africa. It's a shame. You have to correct it. This must end. Bring dignity in the lives of your people. Give them education and a new sense of belongingness in the country of their birth. Do whatever it takes to crash out the extremist groups. Whatever it takes, and all of Africa will celebrate you. I wish you all the best, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for taking time to watch this very video. I'll be back with another one very soon. Until then, don't forget to subscribe and click on the notification bell for all of my videos. God bless the people of Niger and Africa. I'll be back very soon. It's bye-bye for now.